Hey, property management friends, excited to be with you after a week in Austin. Don't mind me if I'm hydrating a lot during this episode. Back from a week in Austin, and I'm definitely suffering from a case of brisket overload. I'm probably going to have the meat sweats for at least a week, but it was a fantastic time. If you guys didn't know, there were two major events back to back in Austin regarding the property management industry this week, and over 100 property managers came into town to learn some amazing new things. And that is really what today's show is about. So we've got a special episode recapping not just this week in PM, but this week in Austin, because it was quite an amazing time. The RentScale team came in. We actually had our holiday party over the weekend, which was amazing. Austin is known for its new comedy scene. Joe Rogan has created this amazing new place called the Mothership, or the Comedy Mothership. And we got tickets on Saturday night. And if you find yourself in Austin, I highly recommend it. We had a great time, great food, got ready for our events, and we got to it. So let's talk about what happened this week in Austin. Well, first of all, RentScale's been working for many, many months on our annual sales program called Sales Mastery. And this year we had a special format where we called it the Allbound Conference. What we wanted to do is we wanted to basically talk about all of the great things that our clients are doing. At any given time, we're working with over 100 property managers all over the US and Canada, and we've been taking note of what they're doing inbound, outbound, and nextbound, which is our term for who knows your next customer. And we put all this together, and we hope to send our attendees back with the latest and the greatest ideas so that they can create an all-bound campaign and plan for 2024. So we had close to 7 attendees come in from all over the country. It was a mix of about 60% of clients and about 40% of what I like to call yet to be clients. It was our highest rated event that we've ever hosted. It was pretty spectacular. We increased the budget. We brought in a sound and light crew. We tried a new venue for the first time. And I think we solved one of the biggest complaints we've received by hosting the event in Fort Lauderdale, way over on the East Coast for the last 3 years. And that was that it was much more accessible to all of our West and Central property management friends, and they definitely showed up in force. So I'm going to be giving you a walkthrough and sharing some video and some highlights of what we covered. But there was also another event, which actually was the trigger for us to going to Austin, and that was the first ever LeadSimple University. Now, LeadSimple University was an amazing event. It was somewhat of a user conference and a business conference for property managers. There was over 100 attendees. There was over a dozen speakers who were fantastic. And including the strategic partners, there were at least 150 guests in the room, plus the LeadSimple team, which showed up in full force. So it truly was an Austin takeover for the property management industry. We had a ton of fun. There was a ton of social events, lots of networking, lots of learning. And if you weren't there, then I'm going to do my best to fill in the gaps and give you the highlights. So I'm excited to share with you some real video, some highlight reels from both events, overviews of what I took away. But first, it is a new month. And so I'd like to actually run the scoreboard, the new business development scoreboard for November. And so recently, filmed on site in Austin. So let's take a look.
Hey everyone, I am back at you with a Scale Club scoreboard update, but this time I'm on location at LSU. We are here in Austin, Texas. We came down for our big event of the year, Sales Mastery, and we had such a blast, right, Reese?
It was amazing, and I can't get enough barbecue while I'm here in Austin as well. It's been awesome.
Okay, I have had enough barbecue. However, I had a blast at Sales Mastery. We had so much fun with all of you, all of our BDMs, all of our owners. Learned a lot, but now we're down at LSU and we're spending a couple days learning about processes. So we are stepping outside of our sales shoes and trying to put the operation shoes on. They hurt a little more than the sales shoes do, but we're having a lot of fun, right, Reese?
Absolutely. And LeadSimple has delivered on this whole entire LSU experience, and it's just been fun to be here. So I can't wait to see what the second half is going to bring.
I know, I'm very excited. So we are on day 1.5 of 3. Yeah. And there's been some big takeaways, some big bomb drops. But Reese, what's your biggest takeaway so far?
My biggest takeaway is LeadSimple just moving in and really owning the centralized technology piece, integrating with all of these other platforms so that it can make it easy for our property management partners to scale and not have multiple logins, and just making it seamless, and also so the client has a better experience as well.
You know what? That's something that I took away. Is like they are working really hard to make sure that the clients have such an amazing experience with their software. All of the integrations, Zapier, we heard today, Rentbind, we heard PMW, like lots of really, really good stuff has come from this conference. But I'm most excited about how they're here to support all of you guys. So if you missed it this year, you definitely gonna want to go next year. But let's dive into Scoreboard because that's what we're here for. So let's share some of the numbers for November.
Awesome.
So in November, we had Atlanta, Georgia at 22, Utah at 20, Fort Worth, Texas at 19, Chicago, Illinois at 17, and Memphis, Tennessee at 14. Those were our Scoreboard leaders. Overall, we were at 286 doors. That is down from October. So as we come into November and December, we anticipate a little bit of a slowdown, and we are seeing that in the community. What else are you seeing in Club, Race?
Yeah, so inside a club, November was expected with the Thanksgiving week, going into December. We've also got that week between Christmas and New Year's. But what I'm hearing from a lot of my Scale Club members is those prospects are ready to make those decisions just after the first of the year. So right now, it's all about nurturing, keeping those prospects engaged so that when the time comes to make that decision, as soon as New Year comes, they're on top of it, and it's a seamless transition right into their property management portfolio.
I love that. You know what that tells? Another story that we saw on the scoreboard. We actually saw leads increased, but doors closed decreased. So in November, leads increased to 33, but doors closed for our entire community. Average number of doors that our BDM closed was 7. But when you look at the top 50%, 10. That's actually down about 35% from October, so a fairly big drop, but I think it tells that story of people are just trying to figure out what's happening, and people are going to jump and make big decisions come the new year.
Yeah, I can see January being a really exciting month for our Scale Club members. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they nurture that pipeline from now until the first of the year. It's going to be exciting to see what they pull in.
I think that's awesome. Well, we've got a really cool skill dev coming up here in mid-December. A little bit weird because we're not at the end of December like we normally do skill devs, but with the holidays, we shifted up. So tell us about skill dev and what we're planning on doing.
So it'll be December 15th, and it will be on a Friday, so a little bit different, like you mentioned. But it's going to be a recap of all of our skill devs throughout the year, what we've learned, what worked best, and then we're going to recap that into a fun, exciting game for all of our Scale Club members, and even some of our owners are joining as well. So it'll be a fun one.
I love it. And guys, make sure to bring your ugly sweater because that is the name of the game. If you want an invite to Skill Dev, just reach out to me, Jennifer at rentscale.com. I'll get you an invite. We would love to have you see what our community does and how we operate. And if you're not here in Austin with us this year for LSU and Sales Mastery, we hope you'll join us next year because it's been an incredible week of learning, growing, and scaling. Back to you, Jeremy.
All right. So in addition to all of this craziness that we experienced last week, it's always business as usual for the business development team. And so while our leader of the scoreboard this week was down pretty significantly from the week before, and we did have a slowdown, only around 20 doors at the top of the leaderboard, I did hear a rumor when we were at Sales Mastery that we may have somebody who is going to be the first person to turn in a triple-digit number for the month of December. So we'll see how that pans out because it's only December 8th, but there's some big deals in the work, so I could be really excited to share with you guys. So fantastic information from the coaching team at Rentscale. Really appreciate seeing where the business is going. Leads being up, some of the doors closed being down. And here we are in those last 40, 30 days of the year that scoreboard reflects. So it's not unusual for that to dip a little bit. All right, let's talk about what we saw this week in Austin. So as you can see, Reese and Jen were there on the street. I apologize if the sound quality was not up to par, but there was so much energy in downtown Austin, and both events We're right on the streets of Austin. LeadSimple University was on a very, very busy intersection on Congress, and there was a lot of traffic, a lot of people walking by. So we did our best to shoot that video right on the scene, but it was definitely in the midst of a lot of hustle and bustle, hence the quality of the audio. But appreciate you just focusing on the information and not the sound quality. So let's talk about our event. So we have been crazy busy for the last 3 to 4 months, planning the content, inviting people, putting all these things together. Like I said, this year's Sales Mastery, which was our 6th Sales Mastery, was definitely our biggest ever. It was our highest rated ever, and it was definitely our boldest ever. So first, I want to focus on the content and share with you some of the highlights that we saw. I've actually got a little B-roll for you, and I'd like to walk you through what we saw at this year's Sales Mastery. So the whole team came in, which was amazing. We had to set up this entire venue from scratch. This year, we decided to do what we called theater in the round. So rather than pushing up a stage against a wall and letting everybody look one way, we really found this amazing building with tons of natural light, very industrial feel. We tried to bring everybody together so that they felt very intimate and very collaborative. We also opted for wrapping the tables in butcher paper so that the team could collaborate, take notes, draw things on the table versus just having your very traditional wrapped tables. Got big screen, tons of sound and audio, and we essentially walked the team through lots of exercises and lots of information regarding Allbound. So we put the attendees into several teams, a lot of interactive, competitive activities, because we all know salespeople love competition. So we shared, what are people doing that's working for inbound marketing? How are we attracting new leads? What is working for outbound? How are we going out into the marketplace and creating new opportunity? And then, of course, everybody's favorite, how do we get more referrals? Nextbound, who knows your next customer? Went through many activities. We gave out lots of cash prizes. We shared tons of case studies so that people could actually see what other people had done. We took lots of questions. We shared all the information. And like I said, it really was our highest rated event. And I think it was just absolutely a success that I'm proud to be a part of, and we hope to level up every year. My good friend Jordan Buela from LeadSimple, who I'm about to talk about in a little bit, loves to call our events edutainment, which is a great name that I fully embrace. We want it to be educational, but we also want it to be entertaining. And that's what I think we did with this event here. So there was an Easter egg in Sales Mastery. In fact, it was what we spent perhaps maybe half of the time of the event planning, and we were a little concerned at the RentScale side that this would actually play out the way we wanted. But as you know, one of our company values, please excuse the language, but it's literally written into company value of RentScale, is go fucking bold. And that's what we did. So we wanted to create an opportunity for people to collaborate, to enjoy the wonderful environment that we were in downtown Austin. And we really wanted to celebrate the raw nature of sales. And we wanted to hone our attendees' appreciation for being resourceful. As you know, set a plan, you work really hard, you believe that that plan is actually going to come to fruition for a month or a quarter of sales, and then the market changes, something happens, and you didn't see it coming. And the only thing that will save you at that point is being resourceful, which typically means being creative and working with what you have. So we decided to put the entire team into a Shark Tank competitive vacuum and see what they could do. So the second part that we did right after lunch of Sales Mastery was we actually sent our team out into the streets to sell ice cream. And I've actually got some footage to show you right now. So what we did was we brought everybody back from lunch, and we basically made sure nobody had anywhere to be. There was no bowing out. I said, does anybody have any phone calls? Does anybody have any meetings to make it to? And everybody agreed, no, I'm here for the next hour. We said, great. And then we told them that this was about selling ice cream on the streets of Austin. So we put them into teams of 4, which I'll explain in just a second. And we gave them 15 minutes to strategize. Everything was on the table. We had a very small list of rules, and we repeated over and over again. If we didn't say you couldn't do it, then you could do it. And that's where the creativity came in, and that's what you're seeing on the screen. So what these teams had to do was basically break into roles. We had Amy's Ice Cream, which is a truck, come with 4 flavors and 4 toppings. Each team was assigned a flavor, and they had nothing to say about what the product was that they sold. Some of the owners stayed back into the room where I stayed with them, and I changed the rules over the 30-minute sales process, where everybody else had to go out into the streets of Austin, and they could do anything they want. They could approach people on the street. They could go into office buildings. They could call friends that they knew in town, and they could do anything they could. And the winner was the team that sold the most dollar amount. They were able to set the pricing. They were able to market. We saw some fantastic strategies come out. People really got involved here, and they did some creative things. And then we released them for 30 minutes onto the streets of Austin. And it was quite a sight to see. People ran around selling ice cream, ranging in price from free ice cream with an $8 hug all the way up to whatever they could come up with, $8 in ice cream. Now, the retail price was around $6.50, and I think we actually ended up selling more in ice cream than the retail price, which is kudos to our 70 salespeople hitting the streets of Austin. We came back, we recapped, we talked about what we learned. There was a lot of positive feedback. People really understood the parallels of this was selling anything. They had to be resourceful. They had to interrupt people. They had to believe in the product they were selling. They had to overcome objections. And of course, they had to actually fulfill the product. Now, many teams sold no ice cream at all. And some of the teams sold an average of, say, $20 to $40 of ice cream. I believe our second place team sold around $50 of ice cream, but somehow our first place team sold over $300 of ice cream. And isn't that a parallel for how markets work? So this was something really fun that we did. People were very shocked when we pulled it off, but the overwhelming feedback was very positive, and everybody that participated said that they learned a lot. So it was really exciting. So that was Sales Mastery 2023, the Allbound conference. We are potentially putting some of this together in a virtual presentation. Obviously, there's a lot of activities we did at that event that will not translate to a virtual event, such as selling ice cream and some of the other interactive competitive activities we did. But we did share a ton of case studies for inbound marketing, outbound, and of course, nextbound. And so keep an eye out with Rentscale because we may be bringing a smaller virtual event for you at the beginning of the year. So that was Monday. This is a whole week in Austin. This is the entire property management takeover. So what happened after that? Well, after we cleaned up our event and probably got the first night of good sleep that I've had in a week, after that, we knew our event was over. It was time to head over to LeadSimple University, where, like I said, they brought in over 150 people to this event. It was absolutely top-notch, especially for the first event of its kind. And shout out to the LeadSimple team because they really did some amazing work on this. It really blew our mind. And shout out to the speakers who came as well, because it wasn't just LeadSimple content. It was actually all of the volunteers, myself included, who came in, who volunteered their time and information to share their experience, to educate and inspire the audience. And it was absolutely a fantastic event. I'll talk about the networking after I show you the highlight reel. But what I'd really like to do is let you hear it firsthand from Jordan and the team. Let's walk through the highlight reel of LeadSimple University.
Is that happening? No, not really. We've seen it play out a bit, but here's what I know. The future of this industry is in this room right now. It's the independent residential property manager disrupting themselves. Not getting disrupted, but doing the disrupting by taking advantage of the new possibilities and embracing the new way to work. When we built LeadSimple, really every feature, every part of it, there's a clear idea of like how the software is supposed to be used, and then there's what people actually do with it, and there's a pretty wide delta between the two. Because the reality is, we don't have all the creative genius. You guys are charting new courses, making new possibilities, and it's really, really exciting to watch. What I know is that you guys here are the vanguard in something new happening in the industry. And I do think that there is going to be some sense of haves and have-nots, but I don't think that it's going to be large venture-funded companies crushing the little guys. I actually think it's going to be the small businesses of middle America choosing to take advantage of technology and use it to open up new possibilities that give them a massive advantage over folks that are doing things the way the business has always been done. But there's a new possibility, something new is coming, and that new thing does require you to think different. It requires you to structure your business different. It's really abstracted from the software, and I hope you hear me when I'm saying this. The new way to work is bigger than a piece of software. The new way to work is thinking really hard about how work flows through your business.
Take a look at all the people next to you, the faces in this room. This is the current and future leaders of property management right now. It's almost like a who's who of property management all in one room. It's actually really incredible. The second is where modern property teams go to work. We took a lot of time this year to actually sit down with customers and really understand how do you align the product vision with what you're trying to do. At the same time, when you're spending more and more time in LeadSimple is becoming the center of where work happens for your team. It also means that you have to go update the property accounting system. Right now that means double entry, switching multiple tabs, jumping back and forth. What we want to do in 2024 is go to two-way sync. This is a big deal, right? We want you to be able to work in LeadSimple, enter your data, and have it flow into the property accounting system.
And now, Ryan, please, and we got an announcement that we are making a great plan. It's actually on the work it's coming out early next year.
Favorite quote that we pass around the company from time to time is from Jordan. I think it's original to Jordan. When communication isn't happening, no one is thinking any good thoughts.
The thing, we have a tenant in our fellow engineering here in LeadSimple. He's complaining water is dripping from his ceiling, and we, or you as property managers, you need to go write down a read-on message, apologize for that, tell that you created a work order already, and you're going to be sending some other way. But it's really easy, this is really simple. What if we have really magical button on our inbox and you just generate everything? It's got context about the name of the property, it's got context about long-term maintenance or work order related processes, and you can just tell it that, or even more, it would suggest you, okay, please start this process because this is what's going to be needed here. Or even more, for an example, if we have a prospect tenant asking about what's the best policy for a specific property, LeadSimple already requires the property from the email. It knows everything about the property. It's syncing data from your property accounting software, and then it knows in custom fields that's not allowed. Sorry, Daniel. And then it can automatically suggest, say, no, like.
I think the biggest thing we're excited about is all the improvements to communication. As we all know, property management is all about communication. They're making improvements to the unified inbox. They're making they're going to allow you to discover the context of the emails that you're receiving from owners, mark them urgency, the automatic routing to the team members that need to respond in a quick manner. So we're super excited.
I think probably the thing I'm most excited about is something that they've just actually beta tested today, which is the ability to visualize your processes as they're being built out or after they're done for training purposes. I'm loving that. And then of course, they're also working on push integration to some of the property management softwares. Once we can push data back, that's going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to that. And of course, I love AI, so they've announced new AI features they're working on. So love anything like that. So lots of cool stuff announced today. Very happy about all of it.
Into the inbox stuff that they announced. Because we're heavy users of inbox, and they announced some AI powered features, including the ability to do sentiment analysis and automatically figure out the property, the squad, the owner, what it's about, and it will, when you log into Inbox, there's going to be like tags, colorful tags, so you know what's important, what's maintenance, which owner, and the ability to route that stuff automatically to the right inbox.
Thank you and congratulations to the graduating class of 2023. Go ahead and turn your tassels from one side to the other. I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you being here. It was beautiful to see your bright and shining faces. Feeling a lot of gratitude right now, and I'm seeing so much possibility in the future and what we're building together. Thank you for being here. And with that, grab that cap. Woo! And toss that back!
Wow, here we are closing out LeadSimple 2023. I'm blown away by the love and the connection and the possibility and the brain power that was brought to bear in this room. A lot opened up, a lot was learned, a lot of fun was had along the way, and I'm really proud and grateful for seeing all these possibilities that are opening up through more connection, more collaboration, more community. I'm proud, and I feel like this is a really big win. Grateful.
So what do you think? I purposely held back on a lot of the features that they announced, although you did hear a tease by some of the attendees sharing what they were most excited about. It was absolutely a mind-blowing announcement. I actually felt like I was an Apple event where they were continuously showing more and more new features that were exactly what their user base anticipated, dreamed about, but didn't really think was going to be possible this fast. So I held back because I know that the LeadSimple team is going to be announcing this and releasing this with more fanfare. I didn't want to spoil everything. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek, and I wanted to put a little fertilizer on the FOMO that you probably already had by not being in Austin this week. So it was an amazing event. We love the LeadSimple team. Here at Rentscale, we always consider them a sister company of ours. As you know, Jordan and I started Rentscale together. LeadSimple has always been a big part of what we've done. The team is absolutely amazing, and what they're doing is all for you guys. And so I hope that you guys appreciate it and you invest in them, because they are definitely investing in you. So let's wrap up. Let's remind ourselves that we've got a couple weeks left in the year. 2024 is coming soon, and we will be essentially getting ready to plan for next year. So I hope you're taking all of this new technology in consideration, and you guys are excited about how to use all of the information that we shared at the Allbound conference and all the features that you're getting from LeadSimple, and you're going to be using it next year. Now to wrap up, the only thing left is to go over the upcoming event calendar. All right, so I've only got a few events on my calendar. The first one coming up is in January. The PM Systems Conference is back again in Las Vegas on January 23rd to the 26th. I believe this is at least their third one, if not more. And I always hear great things about this. I know they're still taking registrations, and that's only about a month and a half away. So I'd encourage you to sign up sooner rather than later. Now, if you're a KeyRunner franchise, I'm going to remind you that some of us from Rentscale will be joining you on your annual summit to speak about lead generation on February 1st. Now, this year, the annual event is on a cruise ship leaving from Fort Lauderdale, which sounds like a ton of fun. First state conference on my calendar is Cal NARPM, which that state conference is in Napa Valley, which is always going to get me to come out on March 28th and 29th. Now, I don't think they're taking registrations yet, but you may want to block it off on your calendar if you're planning to go. Now, if we're missing any upcoming events, please comment below and we'll make sure to get them added to our calendar. We want this to be the place that you guys go to know about all the events related to property management. Appreciate you guys being here. I am so excited about what's coming up after this last week in Austin. I'm both exhausted and exhilarated from all of the opportunity that came out of this last week. There was a ton of networking, there was a ton of social activity, a lot of relationships were built, and I firsthand overheard a lot of collaborative conversations from some of the vendors that you work with, all working together to make sure that they're supporting you in the best way possible. Hope you guys are grateful to be part of this amazing industry. It is definitely on the ascent. I believe that the demand is only growing, and I'm excited that you're here along with this journey. And for me, back in Florida, back from Austin, that's what's happening this week in PM.